weirdos, my name is Felicia and I like scary movies, and today I'm bringing you my top horror films that are on Netflix right now. So this is being filmed in August of 2019. If you're watching this way later, hopefully some of these will still be on there, if not all of them. I'm gonna be doing this by category so you can choose your film based on what kind of mood you're in. So the first category is gonna be period horror, and I don't mean tampons, I mean oldie times. The first film I wanna talk about is The Golem from 2018. This was directed by Doran and Yoav Paz. Now this movie is based on Jewish folklore and follows a mystical woman who tries to save her tight-knit Jewish community from invaders. In Jewish folklore, a golem is a being created from inanimate matter such as clay or rock, etc. And in this movie, this woman creates one and he takes the shape of a little boy. This movie has a really compelling story with a lot of heart in it. It also has some great gross out features. We have a lot of heads exploding, a lot of really gruesome stuff. So if you like that and you like the oldie times, I recommend The Golem. Next movie in this category is The Witch from 2015. This is a Robert Eggers film. You probably know he's coming out with The Lighthouse later this year, which I'm very excited about. But The Witch takes place in the 1630s and follows a family that is being torn apart by witchcraft and a goat named Philip. This movie is creepy, very beautifully shot, and has some good supernatural aspects to it if you're into that sort of thing. Now, here's a couple of gory slashers for you. The first one I feel like I have to talk about is Terrifier from 2016. Most people saw this when it hit Netflix in September of 2018. This was written and directed by Damien Leone and stars David Howard Thornton playing Art the Clown. Even if you haven't seen this movie yet, you've probably seen Art the Clown somewhere on the internet. He has been a big sensation this year, and this movie is brutal. It is gory, it is gross out, and it is awesome. They are also coming out with the Terrifier 2 sometime in 2020. I also interviewed David Howard Thornton on my channel last year, and I will link that interview down below. Next up, we have The Green Room from 2015. This is another gory film that has more of a political message to it. It's about a punk rock band who has to fight for their life after seeing a murder at a neo-Nazi skinhead bar. This has an amazing cast such as Aaliyah Shawkat and Patrick Stewart, and it's a pretty gnarly film. I watched this recently for the first time, and I was amazed by how realistic this film was and how scary it is for the times we're living. Now let's talk about some modern supernatural films. The first one I want to mention is The Ritual from 2017. This one was directed by David Bruckner and follows a group of college friends that reunite in the forest and then realize something kind of spooky is following them around. I would compare this movie to The Descent. It's sort of the dude version of The Descent, but I do recommend this film because even though it's a little bit slow, the ending makes it worth it. Alright, next up we have the 2016 Autopsy of Jane Doe. I love this movie. It was directed by Andre Overdahl, who just directed Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which I also loved. This is about a father and son who are both coroners and trying to identify a Jane Doe. So they are cutting up her body and trying to see where she came from. And it gets really scary. This movie goes some places I didn't expect it to, and it also does a lot for a movie that basically takes place in one location. The next category I'm gonna call I'm Not Safe in My Own Damn House horror movies. First one being Hush from 2016. This was written and directed by Mike Flanagan, who of course brought us Haunting of Hill House and Oculus. It's about a deaf and mute writer who lives a solitary life in the woods and gets a dun-da-da-da home invasion. It's a very simple story that is executed so well. I definitely think it's worth watching. Another great one is The Invitation. This was written and directed by Karan Kusama, who also directed Jennifer's Body. It's about a man who accepts a dinner invitation from his ex-wife and her new man, and things get crazy. One reason I particularly like this film is that the main protagonist says a lot of things that I feel like I would say in a horror movie, which is, why is everyone acting so weird, and things like that. Next category is the horror comedy. I'm gonna quickly mention two, one being Tuck and Dale vs. Evil. I've mentioned this on my channel before. It's just freaking good. This was written and directed by Eli Craig and does the perfect blend of horror, comedy, and heart. And now we're gonna get weird for a second, and I have to mention Tusk, which was written and directed by Kevin Smith. This movie stars Justin Long, who plays a podcaster who goes to interview a mysterious recluse who, as IMDb puts it, has a rather disturbing fondness for walruses. This movie is freaking weird. When I saw it in theaters, people literally walked out, but I loved every second of it and laughed the entire time, so if you have a weird sense of humor, you'll probably like this one. And now I'm just gonna throw a couple classics in here that you've probably seen but might want to see again. The first one is Brian De Palma's Carrie from 1976. The second one is Scream from 1996, which I'm wearing my t-shirt of right now. And the last one is Gremlins from 1984. I don't typically say this anymore, but if you're new here, welcome to my channel. Please hit the subscribe button and leave a comment down below so we can get to know each other, and have a nice scream. Bye!